Back with another episode of Pottawattamie County Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Had a great time yesterday on St. Patrick's Day. Went to one of my favorite hangouts, the Mile Away. Talked about it on the morning coffee show. And in fact, Bryce Taylor and I of GLI Insurance Group in Crescent, Tabor, and Clarinda. Well, he and I did a restaurant highlight from there, which is something we do on morning coffee once a month. So I encourage you to jump over and check out that show. Also, want to remind you that Bluff Sports Weekly has been going now for a few weeks and is becoming very popular. So if you want to keep up on everything going on in Council Bluffs sports, high schools, and the college, that is a great show. Craig Carlson is the host, former host on CBTV 17, going back to when Council Bluffs had a TV station. Coming up today, we're going to talk a little podcasting, and I brought Kyle Rainey back in to help me out with this conversation because there are some great ways that a business or organization or even an individual can take a long-form interview type podcast and turn it into short-form content for your social media. And specifically, we do a lot of talking about political candidates that are coming up this year. Politics, it can get a little weird. You know how it is. The closer we get to an election, the more and more you start seeing the borderline slanderous ads that are going out on the air, whether it be television or radio, and it just gets old. Well, what would you think about being a political candidate and you control your own narrative and you have your own podcast? That is the subject today on Pottawattamie County Roots. If you're looking to grow your business or bring new jobs and investment to Southwest Iowa, Advanced Southwest Iowa is the economic development organization for all of Pottawattamie County. Advanced connects entrepreneurs, innovators, and established companies with resources, incentives, and strategic support to launch, expand, and thrive right here in our region. From site development to small business programs and community partnerships, Advanced Southwest Iowa helps build a stronger local economy. Visit advancedsouthwestiowa.com to learn more. And Primrose Retirement Community, located in Council Bluffs, believes home should be a place of comfort, connection, and care. From personalized support to engaging daily activities, everything they do is designed to help residents live fully and confidently. At Primrose, that's their priority, to put the quality of the residents' care and daily needs at the top of their list each day and every day. It's not just about where you live, it's about how you live. Learn more at primroseretirement.com and then contact Jamie Bush at Primrose. Discover a place that truly puts people first. Back in the studios on Willow, Mr. Kyle Rainey at this. I got nothing. Who are you?
My name's Kyle.
Okay, there you go. Are we getting a little overworked around here? It seems that it's been a little busy, but...
Well, it's been a weird day. I had to go to the dentist for a tooth problem, and,
Did they numb you? Are you over that part yet?
No, it was just like it wasn't that bad. Thankfully. I was worried it was going to be, worse.
Yeah, Novocaine is not a lot of fun.
They did not put me under. I'm in my right mind. Thank you.
But you're right. It has been kind of a weird day, cold, blustery. We saw some snow earlier, and yet we are recording this on a Tuesday. So then now things are going to get really warm for the rest of the week. But wanted to bring you back on again because we want to talk more about podcasting. I've been referring to it quite a bit on the show of the benefit to any business or organization of what a podcast can be. And it goes beyond how many views you happen to get on any particular episode because there's so much that can come from just one single podcast episode.
Yeah, that's super true. So long form is great because it's long form and it's natural and it's not trendy.
Right.
It's a conversation like this. It feels more natural. You can do it once a month, and then you can take care of apps like YouTube and Spotify and the podcasting apps. But then you can also cut down all of this long form content into shorter form content to go on social media, TikTok. Some of the same apps have both short and long form. And Netflix just added, and Hulu just added podcasting onto their platform. You can watch podcasts on full blown, basically TV now. It's been new now for a couple months, I think. I won't tell you that I watched the Bridgerton podcast. I didn't actually watch it, but I do love that show. I just don't have time to watch the podcast about the show because I'm too busy watching the show. But people make long form content about all sorts of things. And we like to make that for businesses. We work with some political candidates here, nonprofits. I think right now we're working with an ISP, a rural ISP, and that's FMTC.
Yes. Yeah.
So they install internet. And the last time they came in, they just talked about the process of how they install the internet, all the steps to it, their customer service aspects, why fiber is better than coaxial or 5G, 4G over the telephone. Kind of stuff, and all of that can be cut down into shorter clips that they can post on social media, and the ones that do well they can then turn into paid advertisement. And chances are you've probably seen a podcast as a paid advertisement. It's actually pretty common, and it's something that feels good because it's not, hey, my name's Steve, buy my product. A lot of times these ads are actually like testimonials where it's two people talking like, hey, you came into my business and you saved my business, or you helped my mother with this problem, or not necessarily my mother, or like, so-and-so Amelia House, really helped my grandparents when they transitioned out of their home. Podcasts can be about anything, and it usually comes across really natural because it's a conversation, not a scripted not a scripted thing, and then it's not like this week's highlight of do this hokey dance and hope that people like it.
Well, one of the good points that you brought up in there is the idea that you release a lot of different short form videos that you pulled from a long form video, and you pay attention and you see which one of these is gaining a little more traction than the other ones, and something will jump out. It always will happen. It'll jump out. Anyone who tells you that they have hacked the algorithm and they understand about how everything works on there and they can guarantee that they're going to get so many views based off this, that, or the other is lying to you. That is not true. But there is a way to be able to do something about that, and that is if you release a lot of different short-form videos, just look and watch and see, is one of these gaining more traction than the other ones? And then throw an ad buy behind that, and now you've really got something.
Yeah, that's totally true. And we, I don't call ourselves social media managers, but we probably post more often than a lot of social media managers do.
Yeah, we do.
Obviously, I mean, we're talking, 3 times a day for daily shows, and then, 5 or 6 shows a week? Yeah, otherwise too.
Yeah.
And these are different genres of content, and we're putting them on almost 20 different apps at the end of the day. So, I mean, we have figured out a lot when it comes to this kind of stuff, what works, what doesn't work. And you kind of just have to do it to figure it out. Yeah. So if someone says they're going to like get you the ROAS, this, that, maybe they'll do that. But chances are they're just going to come into your business, do what they did for the last business, and they're probably sweating bullets, praying it's going to work. Guys, I hope this is going to work again.
I love the ones that say, oh, we're going to guarantee you a top 10 podcast. Top 10 of what?
Yeah.
That can mean an awful lot.
Yeah.
So, no, I tell everybody that when they start a podcast that you need to have a reason for doing it other than the total amount of views that you're going to get. And when you can sit down and have one long conversation, 30 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer. Travis Waldstein, we tend to go a little bit long, that sometimes over an hour. But you take all of that and then you're going to find nuggets in there. And you have a team behind you, like here, that are skilled at pulling the short form out of the long form. Short form is typically edited a little bit heavier, and people are used to that. You see the jumps in the video. It's not designed to just be one long conversation. And that part does take a little bit of skill and know how to do that and how to put together something that's got good forward motion and good momentum with it. That's what people respond to. And that's what's going to keep them from doing this on their phone and keep there a little bit longer.
And podcasts build loyalty, like you're saying, because it's long form. You're on it more often. You're more invested in what's going on. I mean, and we sponsor content too. And I know that this isn't me making this up. Stats show this, but recommendations on podcasts carry more weight than just seeing a random social media post.
I know for
Because
a
again,
fact that that's happened, that people have gotten business based off of sponsorships on the podcasts that we produce.
Yeah, because we are recommending things that we also like believe in, and these are people we work with. They're not just like randoms,
Right.
You know, some guy on the side of the street. I mean, we do say no to people, not often, because we just haven't encountered that. But the people that are sponsoring our podcast are recognizable companies. They're local.
Mhm.
They do good work. They're invested in the community as well, and we see them out networking. We see them all over the place. Like, they're good people, and it means a lot when they are recommended by a podcast or some, because podcasting, you're a personality, you're building trust with people, and then you're also recommending things.
Right.
Like, there's more buyer intent with that than just, hey, here's a trendy thing and I insert my product into it and please buy. I hope it works.
Well, and as an example to what you're talking about there, on the other show that's out today, on the Morning Coffee Show, it's Bryce Taylor and I from GLI Insurance Group doing another restaurant highlight, and we went back to the Mile Away. This is the first time that we've done one of these repeating a location. And the reason we went was because yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and the Mile Away, one of many restaurants that was doing corned beef and cabbage yesterday. And you can watch the show and see a genuine affection for the place on my face because I really do like it there. Mm-hmm. And the food was very good. And we just saw that as of 2:30 in the afternoon on St. Patrick's Day, they sold out. So, yeah, everybody else felt the same way. This is really good food. So that's an example of a testimonial that you could do on your own podcast, that if it's authentic, people respond to it because people can sense that it is. I also recently talked about something involved in podcast on a small local level that has a little bit of an extra grab over the large market ones. And what that is if you live in a community like Carson or Oakland or Trainer or someplace like that, and you're watching someone's podcast that is produced in one of those places and you see something you recognize, that's an eye grabber. And that has a lot more punch in a small market than it does in a large market. It means more there, and it's going to be an attention grabber and keep somebody in tune more than that. Small market podcasting works, and I think we've proven it here.
Yeah, and that happens in the big market podcasting all the time too. Like, something's happening outside. Yeah, that's fun. Hey, there's a lot of podcasts where I love the podcast, and I can tell they're in New York City because I can hear the sirens going by, and it echoes that way that they do with the buildings. You know, it adds to it.
Which, by the way,
a live environment.
Just on a quick little side note for all of you folks that really enjoyed the show Friends back when it was on, did you ever hear any traffic noise coming down from the street?
No, but it was there. Yeah. What was I going to say? I mean, listen, when people go, it seems like authors every once in a while like go back on tour, and then I'll hear from them on several different podcasts because they seem to do a loop, or maybe they're in the same network. But
when the Charlie Sheen thing came out, he was everywhere.
Exactly, and I like it. I like hearing similar content from the same person, but from a different host. It's interesting.
It is a different interview, and it does bring out something different involved with that. And, you talked about how we're starting to work with some politicians now. Why? Because this is a pretty big political year, and we have statewide offices. We've got countywide offices, city offices. A lot of people are going to be throwing their hats into the ring. And the way to get that message out is on a podcast. Think about the last presidential election that we had. How much did podcasting influence the results of that?
A lot. First, I'll say we don't endorse candidates.
No, we don't endorse candidates here. That's got nothing to do with it.
Just using this as a case study,
right?
But I do think one of the candidates not going on a certain podcast, I'm sure you can guess which one, probably
had a definite effect.
Probably swayed the race quite a bit more than most people think, or that they want to admit to. Probably, really. But we're kind of at that point where you can no longer are the big TV networks, the big radio networks have all these sway. You can build a platform that is yours, and you can reach an audience that really likes to connect with you. And you can build that with a podcast and do that on your own. You don't need these other things anymore. You can pay money to be on TV. You can pay money to do this. But anymore, I mean, there's probably more sway voters listening to podcasts and actually watching network TV. And I work on political campaigns. I shoot them. I shot one this last week. So I understand how that works. It's very similar for any political candidate. Shoot the ad, put it on TV, do this, run into this, try to grab those people that you think you can sway. But I think people are still doing it the old way. And there's probably a newer way to do that, and that way it's podcasting.
Well, yeah, because the old way is you put the sign up in the yard, you print the flyers, and you have them shipped out to people's homes. That's a quick hitting kind of, hey, here I am with one short little message, and this is my face kind of thing. Yeah. Really not much more than a name and a face and what office they're running for.
Really what they're doing is hoping that when you go to and you see the ballot that they're like, oh, I think I've seen his name before.
Yeah, I recognize this name.
Again, they're not really voting for who the person is or anything like that, which you can tell people about on a podcast like this. They're just kind of hoping that you remember it.
Yeah.
But like, is that really, I mean, that has worth to it, but is that really the best way to do it?
I don't believe so at all. If you sit down and you're running for office and you're a guest on a podcast or you have your own, then at that point you can actually talk in longer form about what your message is and about why you are running and why it is that you want to serve the area and hold the office that you want to do. The why behind it can't be shown in a yard sign.
Yeah,
just can't.
And guess what? If you want to advertise and be on this platform, it costs less than 10 of those yard signs.
Yeah,
those things are freaking expensive, and then they just get thrown away.
Right.
Or people draw faces on them with Sharpie and stuff. What kind of think about legacy building, and even if you don't win this election, think about you have this track record digitally. I forgot that guy ran against so and so. Last election cycle. You can see that. You can see progression. Yeah, your yard signs, they're in the trash. They're in the landfill, covered up with dirt, and where'd they go? So when you get things out on the airwaves with podcasting and stuff, this stuff is forever. Internet is forever. That's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, keep that in mind when.
We always keep everything positive on these shows. There's never any of the gotcha questions. There's not going to be any controversial 60-minute edits. When we record these podcasts, unless there's something that really comes up, what you see is what you get, and that's true for a lot of podcasters. What you see is what you get. There's not editing. It's unabridged, and you're not getting a condensed version or the version of something somebody wants you to see. It's just your true self, the way you want to be. We're not editing this, and I thought I sounded goofy 10 minutes ago, but. No, that's how I am sometimes.
I don't edit stuff. I just let it all go through. And we kind of alluded a little bit to Joe Rogan earlier. And Rogan, there's a reason I'm bringing this up. He used to be on a TV show when he was in his 20s called News Radio. It's probably my favorite sitcom of all time. And somebody in the show, the internet was fairly new, and somebody had a picture of themselves that had been doctored that was posted up on the internet, and she went to Joe Rogan and said, take it down, get it off there. And he said, it's on the internet. That's like trying to take pee out of a pool. Once it's out there, it's out there.
That's a little gross.
I know, but it's not. But I'm just saying that it's been this way since the beginning, that, as you said, the internet is forever, and you can make a post, delete it later, and it still shows up on the news that night. As a lot of celebrities
felt cute, might delete later.
Right. So
somebody already reshared it, so it's out there.
So that's one of the reasons why getting your podcast done by some professionals who can actually help you produce that thing and make sure that what needs to go out is what is going out.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Come here.
You can meet the onslaught of content that your political opponents are going to put out against you. They all do it. Don't pretend. After primaries go, there's always these last minute pushes. Oh, we got to respond to what the other campaign said. Well, you know what? A podcast is great because you can come in and do this. It can be edited literally by the next day, end of day, sometimes, depending on when you schedule it. Don't hold us to that. Depends on the day. And then you can have all that short media out there too. Yeah. And you can match. I mean, if you're trying to do a PR campaign and there's negative PR about you, well, match it with some PR that you can control. And this is a really good format to do that because you can control this. This is how it is. This isn't, again, this isn't the onslaught trying to, diss on somebody else. And don't come to us to do that because we don't want to do that. We don't want to have you onslaught other people, bring truth and facts.
Yeah, I'm big into.
But it helps you put it on the record. You can get yourself on the record enough times that you might be able to compete that onslaught.
Well, if any candidate interview that I've done, either at this table or on another set, we've always had the conversation before we started that we're going to keep it positive. We don't want to do mudslinging, and they also understand that I personally don't have an axe to grind. Yeah. This isn't about me. This isn't about me passing my views on to everyone else and trying to influence or shape an election. I don't swim in that pool. This is a show, and what I'm doing is sitting across from you right now is designed to let a candidate talk as freely as they can so other people can make up their own minds about them. And I think that that's important. And a candidate-owned podcast means that you are saying exactly what it is that you want to say. And that, to me, is invaluable when it comes time to make a decision on who to vote for.
I agree.
All right, there you go.
Let's land the ship. It's time to go back to work.
Yeah, I think we probably should get some more stuff done here today. So, Kyle, appreciate your time, and looking forward to bringing some more folks in to see everything that's going on here at the studios on Willow. And it's been a fun ride so far. I actually looked at the calendar earlier today. It's only been 2 months since we did that ribbon cutting. It's been 2 months.
Feels way longer.
It feels way longer. We have done a lot of work in the last 2 months because people have responded to what's going on here. So I'm excited for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much.
It means a lot.
Next time you stop into Walnut, make sure you stop into Frosting Inc. That is your sweet destination for gourmet cupcakes, cookies, and artisan baked goods made with care and creativity. And it's not just baked goods they have there. You'll also find batch candles, small batch candles, homemade jams, local honey, Tallow-Bay skincare, and artisan snack mixes. Frosting Inc., more than a bakery. It's a celebration of quality and community. And here on Pottawattamie County Roots, we explore the places that make our region home and the people who keep them connected. That is why we are proud to feature Marnie Elkhorn Communications, your local communications provider, serving Marnie, Elkhorn, Walnut, Avoca, and other Southwest Iowa towns with high-speed fiber internet, reliable phone service, and TV options built for rural living. With real local support and unlimited data plans, you get speeds up to 1 gig to work, stream, and stay in touch with family and neighbors. Visit metc.net to learn more. That's going to wrap up today's show. You can get a hold of Kyle or I if you have any questions about podcasting here at Local Stream Media. Todd at localstreammedia.com, Kyle at localstreammedia.com. You can even find Carlene the same way, Carlene at localstreammedia.com. She is our host of Mills County Roots, which has been doing great numbers. In fact, 40 shows in, she crossed the 100,000 view mark. I mean, that is really something because let me tell you, we don't have 100,000 people that live in Mills County. So that is a ton of views, and I'm excited for everything that she's doing with that show. That is going to wrap up this episode of Pottawattamie County Roots. My name's Todd Studer, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.